guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back. Okay, cut. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be doing a story time and some tips. And you probably read by the title, you're like, oh, you're too young or to get your period or whatever, and you know. Well, I'm going to tell you a story about how I faked it, how I got it, and I'm going to share some hygiene tips and, to take care of your girly things. So, when you get that, and I'm only 11, I got my period when I was, I think, no, I got it around June, and then around Christmas. That's when I got it. So I'm gonna tell you guys about how I faked it, and then I'll move on to the real stuff and then the hygiene tips, and. So I'm gonna tell you how I faked my period. And Mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm like really sorry, Mom or parents, because I did a lot because I just didn't want to go to school because I was too tired. So it was the weekend and it was Sunday and we were gonna go to school because it was Sunday and we had to go to school. And this is before the COVID-19 started, and this just was, it was funny to me because my parents believed it. And I'm gonna tell you guys how. So I was, just taking my shower, and I was in the shower getting ready for bed to go to school, right? And I was taking a shower, and back then I was dumb. I looked up anything on YouTube or Google, and I'm like, when am I ever gonna get my monthly girly thing? And I'm like, perfect. So when I was taking a shower, I got out of the shower and I grabbed some red food coloring, and I got back in the shower and I put it on my body and down there. Sorry, if you're a boy, you don't want to watch this, but like I was saying, I put it down there and I put it all over my legs, the food coloring, and I put it on the door thing, whatever, the floor, in the shower, and I turned the shower on and I started freaking out, and I'm like, because my mom was home and my dad was at work, and so I started screaming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, help, Mom, something horribly wrong happened. And I'm like freaking out, pretending to freak out. And I freaked out, and my mom came in, right? And she's like, huh, what happened? Did you fall? She's like, Ma, I don't know what this is. Blood's coming down out of down there. I just don't want to say it on YouTube because, I might get whatever. I don't know what I'm going to get, but I just don't want to be inappropriate. So she's like, oh, honey, it's okay. That's your period. And I'm like, huh? And deep inside, I'm like, yes, she fell for it. And I'm just pretending to freak out, and I'm like, huh, what's that? And she started explaining it to me, and I'm like, ah. And she's like, soon you're gonna get cramps since you started. This is the first time. And I'm like, what are cramps? But I actually knew what cramps are. I just wanted to annoy her so badly because I didn't get my real period. I faked it. So she explained what that is, and but I already knew it because I looked it up on Google, and she gets hers. So yeah. And she's like, honey, do you want to stay home for school? You should stay home for school. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she fell for it. So I'm like, I act so sad, and she's like, are you sure, Ma? I don't want to miss school. And she's like, honey, you got your period. It's your first time. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, go downstairs, get some rest, get ready for bed. And she just said that, and she'll call in my school tomorrow in the morning. So I went to bed. No, I didn't go to bed yet. I went downstairs to my room because my room's downstairs. My room used to be upstairs, but before that I moved it downstairs because I just like it down here. And so I moved it downstairs, and when I went down here, I closed my door, and because she was still, and she's like, I love you, get some rest. And then I didn't realize she was behind me, so she's like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh god, did she hear me? And I'm like, no. She's like, get some rest, honey. I'm like, in my head, and I'm like, I walk into my bed, getting all comfortable and stuff. I'm like, I'm putting my hands on my tummy, and she's like, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Ma. And she's like, it's okay, honey, you can miss a couple of days of school. And I'm like, just looking at her like, a couple. I'm like, oh, I thought I was gonna miss today. I'm like, you know, whatever, I got it. And I just, at the time, I'm like, yes, yeah, I get to miss school. But it was mean because, I mean, I was dumb and I needed to learn. I mean, I needed to learn fast. Like, really fast. So, when she closed the door, I started, like, I got in bed and I went in my bathroom, like, screaming, yeah, yeah, whoo, she fell for it. Whoo, I don't get to go to school anymore. And then I got all tired, you know, got ready for bed. Then the next day, it was school, and she's like, and I wake up, and it's like 10, 11, I don't know. It was somewhere between that time. So I'm like, yes. So, I don't know, I went in the kitchen to make me some pancakes. And I saw my mom. And she's like, honey, what are you doing? You just got your period. Let me help you. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot about that. So I just started putting my tummy on my hand on my tummy. I'm like, yes, Ma. And I'm like, oh, I hope she didn't hear me. But she didn't. Trust me, she didn't. So she's like, yeah. And then a couple of days later, on that day, she said, I asked her, when is my period gonna end, Mom? And she's like, in a couple of days. She said 5 or 6 days, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, okay. And then she's like, do you want to go to school? I'm like, no, it's okay. It's up to you. And she's like, no, honey, it's up to you. And I'm like, thinking in my head, oh, wait, go school? Dang. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'll go back in a couple of days, Ma. And I'm like, and she's like, okay, sweetheart, it's up to you. And then a couple of days later, but before those couple of days, I still had the food coloring, right? So I weared one of her pads, and I put food coloring on the pad to make it look like it was blood. And I just felt so bad because it's just, I felt so bad. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, woo, excited. And then I told her, Ma, I think my period ended because I was ready to go back to school because it was so boring. I'm like, I should have never made that decision. And then I went back to school, and then 2 months later, I woke up in the morning, and I'm like feeling horrible. I feel like I'm about to throw up, and yeah. And then I went to the bathroom, and I'm like, I looked down there, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got my real period. And I'm like, I'm shocked because it was shocking. So when I got my first period, I started freaking out because, when I faked getting my first period, it was fake. I didn't feel anything. I just pretended. And I know it was mean. I mean, it was so mean. So I told my mom that, Ma, I got my second period, and she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And it was actually my very first actual period, because the first one I faked, and I just used food coloring. So, she's like, are you okay, sweetheart? And it was like during the break, because since it was December and it was close to Christmas, we had Christmas break. So, I don't know what time it is, but it was when I got it, my real one. It was around December. And yeah. So, nothing. Sorry, that was my dad. um okay, so like I was saying, when I did that, I was like shocked. So I got up my phone and I looked up some hygiene tips, because I was becoming a young woman. And yeah, so that's how I faked getting my period. And 2 months later, I got my real one. So now I'm going to talk about hygiene tips or whatever. So the first thing, when you have your period or something, always take a shower, because when you have your periods, it sucks. So just make sure you have your period. Make sure you shower, because if you don't shower, it's gonna stink down there, and your whole body's gonna stink if you do not shower if you have your period. The second thing is to always make sure to use deodorant. Filming a YouTube video. Yeah.
Cool. Good luck.
Sorry about that. That was my dad. And so, like I was saying, always take a shower when you have your period. And yeah, this the second thing is make sure you wear deodorant, because when you're like when you have your period and stuff, and you sweat and it's really hot, or it it goes down there your armpits, and you always, for a woman or a man, I don't care, men, women, always need deodorant. Now, it's different for men because, they're males and they don't have periods. But for women, they're females and they do. So, that's up to the man. But for a woman, always wear deodorant, because, that's just, you need to wear deodorant. If you don't wear deodorant, I'm sorry, but your armpits are going to smell fishy. Because it's just, that's one of the biggest hygiene tips ever. So, yeah. And the third thing, when you're wearing clothes, like overnight or something, pajamas, whatever, make sure you wear them for about maybe 4 days. If you wear them more, they're going to stink, because even if you're on your period or if you're not on your period. So, yeah. Especially underwear. Make sure you change them every day, because if you don't, it's going to smell fishy. Let's just say if you don't use those hygiene tips, or take a shower or wash your hair, you're gonna smell like fish or whatever. You're just gonna smell stinky, because if you're a woman and you have your period, you're gonna smell awful. So that's what you need. You need to take a shower. In the shower, always clean your body, wash your hair with shampoo, conditioner. I guess that's what I did to, stay hydrated or whatever. Hygiene, whatever. Not to stink. Because I take a shower, every night. If I don't take a shower at night, I take one in the morning because I need a shower no matter what. Sorry. It's like nighttime right now. Well, I mean, I don't know what time it is, but anyway. So now I want to talk about the things that you need down there. So I don't have those. If you ever heard of one, they're called tampons. I don't use them. They're just too hard to figure out. I mean, you can use a tampon. That's up to you. That's your body, not mine. But some women and girls that get their period early, they use tampons, and I'm not gonna use tampons, but just put something under there so you won't the blood. I don't know how to explain this. You won't get wet down there. Now, what I use is a pad because you need a pad. If you don't want to use a tampon or whatever, just use a pad. I mean, all you do is stick it to your underwear and boom, won't leak. So, this is a pad. This is what it looks like. My periods are light, so I had this. But that's just, yeah. You need a tampon or a pad if you have your period. And that's just, you need them if you're a woman. Because every girl or woman needs them. You either need a tampon or a pad. So, yeah. And, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, no, I forgot 2 more things, I think. The second thing is, when you have your periods, or if you don't, always wash your face and moisturize them. Because if you don't wash them or moisturize them or whatever, your face will get your face will start creating blackheads, pimples. And I've been watching my face, but sometimes I'm just too damn lazy to, because I'm lazy. And I already got blackheads on my nose because I'm like when I'm outside or sweating and I'm wearing glasses, it soaks into I get blackheads from my glasses. Pretty much what I'm saying. But always wash your face, moisturize it, because you will get pimples, blackheads, whatever, and you do not want them. Because when it's ready to pop up, oh, it hurts. And I mean, it hurts so bad. Because I had a pimple because I didn't wash my face for like a week. And oh my goodness, it stung. It hurt so bad when you pop it. So that's another hygiene tip. So do always wash your face, always do those. You can always watch other YouTubers or, other YouTubers' hygiene tips about when you get your monthly girly thing. So, yeah. But I'm going to end this video now. If you guys liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, make sure you go comment down below. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video. And if you want me to do anything else, I don't know how to turn my comments on. If you know how to turn your comments on, make sure you hit up on my TikTok, because my comments won't work. Every time you guys comment, it won't work. So if you know how to do that, make sure you say something on my TikTok, and my TikTok account will be on my intro before you watch this whole video, like I said yesterday in my other video. But if you guys like it, do all those things, and don't forget to share this video if you know anybody that likes my kind of videos. And yeah, bye. Love you guys so much.